Hi, everyone. This is amazing. I'm Whitney Woolf. I'm the executive director of the Lake Owsego Foundation, and I just want to say thank you so much for extending an invitation and allowing me to talk a little bit about our work. I am going to hopefully just share some ideas, and hopefully some of this resonates with you, and it sparks a conversation. So let's go. Slide, please. Okay, and as that's coming up, I just want to say we were started just by one parent, next slide please, just by one parent, and who had elementary school kids 40 years ago, and he'd graduated from Princeton, and gosh, you saw Princeton had all this money, and gosh, if they can do it, K-12 education is even more important, so we should be able to fund our schools. So he started working with the district, the superintendent, school board members, community. He attended many school board meetings and finally was able to start the foundation. And so we're still going strong 40 years later. So next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just our role, and I think that's important to consider, a role. That's a really important thing to consider with a foundation, is what purpose are you serving? So our role, and I'll just obviously talk about what we do, our role is to help fill the funding gap. And our mission is to ensure more teaching positions in the Lake Owsego School District. Our annual fundraising goal is $1.5 million, and we also have an endowment. Our relationship, I'm going to look at my notes for a second here. Our relationship with the district is really strong and really close. We have an embedded model, which means that they're actually funding my position. And I do only work part-time on the foundation. I do, in addition to foundation, I do our large grants, the SIA, High School Success, and Early Lit. So I do that as well. Anyway, we have, let's see, I wanted to back up a little bit and talk a little bit more about the foundation before I get into the relationship with the district. So as a 501c3, we have a working board of about 25 members, and they're mostly parents, but we do have some former parents and local business folks. We fund teachers at every single school, and we have 11 schools in our district and about 6,800 students. By the way, our enrollment is still down from COVID. We had about 7,000 prior, and we are at a 7% free and reduced lunch. And that's actually an important number to know when you're going out for grants and things like that. 7% is very low, and so we tend to not get any competitive grants at all. So I'm going to back up now to, I did want to tell you one other thing. Our main fundraiser, this is important. So we do a phone-a-thon every year. And I know that sounds hokey, but that's what we do. And the return on investment is incredible. It costs us just what it costs to feed all of our volunteers for 3 nights. And we bring in $700,000 to $1 million each year, just from phone-a-thon. Granted, there is a halo, so there's money coming in before and after, but it really is due to the phone-a-thon, just literally parents calling other parents and community members. So, and it's very effective. The rest of the money comes from smaller fundraisers. Okay, back to the relationship with the district. Okay, so strong and close, we have an embedded model. I actually work at the district office. We consider the district the experts in education and that we're the experts in fundraising. So in other words, we are granting money to the district, but we're not insisting that they fund certain positions. Having said that, we do fund certain positions. So we fund the music teachers and reading specialists in the elementary schools, and then we fund electives at the middle and high schools, so in science, performing, and visual arts. We have a strong MOU with the district, so MOU is a Memorandum of Understanding, that says, I feel like I'm shouting a little bit, but that says The money that we grant them can only be used for teaching positions, so not for anything else. That's just our role in the district. And by the way, as I get this question a lot. Parents are always like, what's the difference between the foundation, parent club, and bond? And so foundation is people, and this is just in Lake Owsego. Foundation is people, we fund people. Parent club funds things, and I know it's more than things, it can be experiences too, but just for a simple model, things. And bond is buildings. So it's pretty simple. The other thing with the district is I said they provide a space, so we're not having to come up with overhead, which is great. They're providing, computer and IT support, all of those things that a foundation would have to pay for with overhead. It's really a wonderful model, and in return, we are great partners with them too. I mean, I answer the front door, whatever I can help with. So there's that. Next slide, please. Okay, so how much have we raised, right? Did we start out at 1.5 million? Of course not. Our first year, we probably started at 20,000, and we grew from there. We started out as a grant-making organization. So, and there's a lot of models for education, public education foundations. And so if you're starting out, everybody's going to start out small, and you'll grow from there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of models for some ideas. So the Minnetonka Education Foundation in Minnesota, they do grants, that's all they do, teacher grants. They give out 35 a year-ish, and they're anywhere between $500 and $1,500, and that's it, and it's great. Another model is Issaquah Education Foundation up in Washington. They provide before and after school programs, as well as like school supplies. So again, they're not raising quite as much money, but their dollars are funding really important things for the community. Beaverton Education Foundation is similar to that. And then our model, which is funding people. And that's, it's expensive, of course, to fund people. You saw, obviously, the budget. Most of the budget goes to people. And there are very few ed foundations across the country even that fund people. And we're one, Riverdale, and then a couple down in California, but there's really not that many people, or not that many foundations that do what we do. And basically, I did want to point out the role of the Ed Foundation is to bring the community together to support schools. So, next and last slide, please. So, what can you do? Or what, so this is amazing what you're doing. You've already started. This is great. Really, it starts with a clearly articulated solution and problem statement. And of course, you tell it in story form. It's the outreach and talking to people, listening to people. And as you do that, people really want to help. As you do that, you're developing your base all along. Those are going to be your donors eventually. A few things that you'll need: a 501c3 status, which you could either reinstate from what you had before, start a new one. Board of directors, you just need 3, that's it. Some rules, bylaws. A way to take donations, a bank account, and track things. I mean, really, almost all of this can be done without spending any money initially. Of course, as you grow, your needs will change and you'll want to spend some money. So, and then places to start. So, of course, your district partners. The district, like I said, we have an embedded partnership, but they do all kinds of things. Like if we are promoting a fundraiser, they put it, or a gala, something like that, they put it in their district newsletter. All the schools put it in their district newsletters, or in their school newsletters. So, and that's all free, again. Working with your Chamber of Commerce's, local businesses really want to help. And, parent clubs, of course, are a huge place to start. And I know some are here tonight. And last, Westland Tidings. free PR. And even doing a letter writing campaign, I know that sounds kind of old-fashioned, but it is free and it gives a lot of credibility to be out there in the media. So like that, having somebody else talk about you. So that's it. So I will pass it on to my next person. Thank you.
Whitney.